In April 2013, Yushene Rajkuar began her work as a volunteer overseeing criminal cases for the organization Women and Men Against Child Abuse. Every day, as she sorted through files, monitored the progress of cases, prepared victims to testify, and sat in court observing, Yushene was bombarded by the gruesome reality of child rape in South Africa. That reality triggered deep-seated memories.
I've had my own experience of sexual abuse and physical abuse, so this journey has allowed me to sort of face some of my own demons whilst being able to help kids that are in situations that I was in. And I've just learned so much about myself through this journey, and it's been an inspiring one.
Yushene admits it was not easy.
It did come with its fair share of challenges, those moments when you just feel like you can't go on and you don't know whether it's the case you're dealing with or your own demons that are sort of creeping up. But you have those moments of just seeing the children's faces or being able to hold their hands in court, and that just gives you enough strength to say, you want to continue.
But she chose to draw strength from her own ordeal and that of others like her.
There was one particular case with a very beautiful young lady and her mom who had been gang raped, and I had the opportunity to be in court with them as she shared her testimony, and I think that was a breaking point for me, because I just watched this little girl break down and share her story. But there was also just a moment of seeing such courage in her, in her ability to stand there and to face her attackers and not to run from it, and to make that decision to say she was going to be a survivor and not a victim. And again, it was in that moment that I just thought, I cannot be weak, and I cannot be, I need to be strong for them, and I need to finish what I've started here.
That resolve has not been in vain. Yushene is back at Women and Men Against Child Abuse for a second year this year. In her first few months at the organization, she discovered a pattern in several files and uncovered a serial rapist. She saw successful convictions come from closed cases that she helped to reopen, and she galvanized a community of traditional healers to sign a pledge of no violence against children. Her colleagues lauded her work, saying her passion and determination have helped the organization and the community at large.
I remember working with sangomas, and then sangomas mostly are black people, and then an Indian lady coming and asking about their tradition and whatever. It wasn't easy for them to open up, but she made them. As you can see, they signed, meaning they are part of this. So bringing the community, it's something big.
Community members agree.
Help the people with confidence, not shouting them, politely doing till the case finish.
Ayanda Ali Payne, Johannesburg.
Well, let's step back a little and see how Yushene was able to do her sterling work. It's because of this. In 2011, telecommunications giant Vodacom stepped in to lend a helping hand with the Change the World initiative. Now, through that program, over the past 3 years, a total of 40 skilled professionals have been paid by Vodacom to volunteer for an NGO for a year. Doing so, they've increased the organization's capacity, setting up key structures, providing innovative solutions, etc., etc. Well, joining me now to discuss this further is Vodacom Executive Head of Corporate Citizenship, Soraya Hamdulay. A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Ayanda.
Now, we often see companies giving money, and that's important as well. But you've chosen to not only bring financial funding, but more importantly, give skills. Why did you do that?
So at Vodacom, we realized, Ayanda, that giving just money was not sustainable. In 2010, in the run-up to the launch of the Change the World program, we embarked on an extensive consultation program, both with government and the NPO sector, to see what their real need was. And overwhelmingly, what we found was that what the NPO sector desperately needed was skills. And this is how the program was conceptualized in South Africa. It seeks to match highly skilled individuals, professionals, who have years of experience, lots of knowledge, and can really make an impact in the NPO sector. And then we looked at the NPO sector itself and we said, what are your needs? What skills and professions do you need to really help you make that big impact in the NPO.
Because if you give money but the structures are not there, that could be a serious problem. We've seen the success story of Yushene just a moment or two ago, but I take it there are many, many more in different sectors of non-profit organizations. Just tell us a bit more.
Absolutely. So the program has a national footprint, and I'll just tell you about two of our other volunteers. We had Dr. Keith Wimble, a retired medical professional who was based in Ikamvala Bantu in Khayelitsha. And what Keith set out to do was to train healthcare workers and community workers in Khayelitsha. What he uncovered in Khayelitsha during his time was huge issues of access to water and sanitation in Khayelitsha. And what he did was he brought together both government and civil society organizations together to work on a shared vision for the Khayelitsha community to really address those really difficult issues. And in the Eastern Cape, we had Ayanda Makahula, who was previously a marketing manager, and she gave up her time at Disabled People South Africa, based in East London. And what she sought to do was to bring together highly skilled young people who are disabled and link them up with job opportunities both in government and in the private sector. And further, Ayanda went on to align one of her projects with the President's project around giving young women access to dignity. And what she did was she raised lots of funds and went through a collection drive and collected sanitary towels for young women in rural schools in the Eastern Cape.
So it's not just the national footprint that you have. I understand innovation is involved here, and through this project, some of the inventions have gone overseas. I'm just looking at my research. The soup bricks innovation, that was mentioned across our shores. Tell us about that.
So Linda Lowe, who was one of our volunteers based in the Free State, was based at Business Against Crime, and she had to deal with huge issues of homelessness and poverty. And one of Linda's outreach programs was to get the community to help her to make soup, which she then later fortified with 28 nutrients, which then made for a really healthy meal. She got communities to then freeze the soup into little soup bricks, which was then later handed out to community members. And this project then gained international recognition through an invitation to the White House to come and talk about the soup brick project. And we're really proud to say that today, this project is now being rolled out in India, where we know that poverty is such a huge issue.
There are so many people in South Africa who want to help. They want to offer their time, their skills, other resources. But unfortunately, like I said to Peter and Dora a little bit earlier, those debit orders just prevent them from doing so. They have too many responsibilities. They can't just quit their job and volunteer somewhere. You've given them an opportunity where they can still meet their responsibilities and pay off debt, etc., but also do their passion. How can our viewers who perhaps want to join this program, how do they get involved?
So, Ayanda, at Vodacom, we believe charity begins at home. We are an organization that is extremely passionate about volunteering, and we give our employees an opportunity to volunteer throughout the year. My advice to your listeners, your viewers, and our Vodacom customers is to say, look internally, look at your own skills, look at your own profession, and then look close to home. Look inside of your community and look for those opportunities where you can really make a difference. Use your skills and your experience, and every little bit helps, and we know that together we can all make a big difference.
Indeed. Well, thank you so much for having joined us and for your time in the sterling work. What other details do you have that people can perhaps log on to a website or call? Could you give us some details if someone wants to give some advice or perhaps there's a question or wants to sneak their way into one of the programs?
So, Ayanda, viewers can go to our Vodacom.com website. There's extensive information on the program, information on past volunteers and some of their successes and what they've done, and really just use it as inspiration going forward. Okay, we'll have to leave it there. So I just wanted to find out, it's open to Vodacom employees and customers only, or is it open for everybody? It's open to all South Africans who are highly skilled and professional and have the passion and want to make a difference. Vodacom.com. That's it. That's the website address. Well, there you have it. Thank you so much for having joined us. Executive Head of Corporate Citizenship at Vodacom, Soraya Humdele. Quick ad break.